Today I'm going to give information regarding smoking and the effects of smoking and how to quit and what resources are available to smokers or tobacco users in this area and also in the state. Okay. First of all, I just have just a little bit of information. You may know some of this, you may not. But tobacco use is the leading preventable cause of death in the United States and also in the world. Leading preventable means it's the #1 cause of death that's preventable, that you can prevent. Okay? And we're talking about all types of tobacco. We're talking about cigarettes, using the pipe, cigars, those little small cigarettes, cigarillos like Black and Milds. Also chewing tobacco, dipping and chewing, okay? Some smoking facts. Tobacco-related diseases kill over 400,000 Americans annually, and smoking is responsible for approximately 1 in 5 deaths. Just a little bit information for you. Smoking has decreased nationally over the years since the 50s. It has decreased to 17.8% in the United States. Look at Louisiana. We're above the national average of smokers, which is, we're still at 23.5%. That's a lot of smokers. Most of the population doesn't smoke, but out of smokers, 70% want to quit. So most smokers want to quit. The question is, how do I quit? Or how do I stay quit and be successful? And so that's what we're going to provide to you today. What's in the cigarette? So everyone has a green sheet. You can kind of follow me on it. So we know nicotine is the addictive substance. That's the substance you crave. That's the substance you want, nicotine. Okay. When nicotine hits the brain, it binds to receptors in your brain, and it releases this chemical called dopamine. Dopamine is the master molecule of addiction. That's the chemical being released. Once that's released, you feel the feeling of pleasure, reduced tension, you feel relaxed when you smoke, right? Something going on, someone's getting on your nerves, you're stressed out, you go light up to calm your nerves. That's because that's what dopamine does. It relaxes you. It also suppresses your appetite. And it helps people, it enhances their performance. It kind of makes you concentrate. So just think about it. How many of you smoked before you actually did something or a certain task to get it done? So for a lot of people, it helps you focus. And that's what the drug does. And nicotine is a drug. It's the most addictive drug, more addictive than harder drugs, more addictive than alcohol. It's the hardest to get off of because there's so many factors that play into it, and you have to address each factor in order to be successful at quitting. Okay? So nicotine is the substance you crave. That's what you want. That's why people continue to smoke. But look at your list. Look at that list up here. These are all of the poisons and chemicals that are in cigarettes. And every time you're using it, that's what you're putting into your system. Okay? We have arsenic, which is used in rat poison. We have acetic acid, that's in hair dye and developer. And if you look at the bolded word, that's the actual chemical. And I put next to it another product that chemical is in so you can kind of understand the harshness of it. Acetone, that's a nail polish remover. It's also in nail polish and paint. Ammonia. Ammonia, what do we use that for? Cleaning. Tobacco companies put ammonia in cigarettes to help you absorb the nicotine quicker. And they want you to do that because they want you to get hooked. They want you to use more and more nicotine so you can purchase more. Okay. Benzene is in rubber cement. Cadmium is in batteries. Okay. We have carbon monoxide, which is a poison. Okay, basically, whatever smoke you're inhaling from a burning substance, you're putting carbon monoxide into your lungs, into your system. And when you have carbon monoxide in your system, you're depleting your oxygen intake. And your body and your cells need oxygen to grow. Okay. Formaldehyde is used to embalm dead bodies. Dihydrazine is used in jet and rocket fuels. Hydrogen cyanide is a poison in gas chambers. Naphthalene is in explosives and also mothballs. Okay. You have nickel that's in cigarettes. Also, phenol is used in disinfectants and plastics. Polonium is a radiation. Styrene is found in the insulation material that's in the walls in your home. Toluene and also vinyl chloride, which is also in garbage bags. Okay? So if you look at these substances, you should realize that these are poisons. And that's why for a lot of smokers, if you smoke for a long time, over time, you're going to develop some type of chronic illness because these are poisons. And basically, slowly, you're poisoning yourself. Now, we all get older. As we get older, naturally, our body breaks down, even if you're a non-smoker. You're getting older, your body breaks down. But when you're actually putting these chemicals into your system, you're speeding up that process. You're increasing the risk of something chronic developing. Okay? Now, I give that to you as a motivation for smokers. I know it's shocking. I'm not trying to scare you, but use that as motivation. The next time you think about lighting up, think about what you're actually putting into your system physically. That's why we need smokers to quit, because of this. Okay. Nicotine. Nicotine is the drug. It's the addictive substance. It's produced in tobacco leaves, but when tobacco companies manufacture cigarettes, they add more nicotine to it to get you more addicted. Each cigarette contains about 10 milligrams of nicotine. It's what keeps people smoking despite the harmful effects. A pure drop of nicotine could kill a person, and it's also used as a pesticide in crops. Okay, the effects on your body. So we all probably kind of know, the harmful effects of smoking, and that's why a lot of people are wanting to quit for your health. So basically it affects every system in your body, not just staying inside your lungs, because that's where you're inhaling the product, but it goes into your bloodstream and affects every system in your body. It affects your cardiovascular system with your heart and your arteries and your blood vessels. And nicotine at high levels actually constrict your blood vessels. So if you're on high blood pressure medicine, the doctor's probably telling you need to quit smoking because you're already on blood pressure medicine and smoking will increase your blood pressure. Lungs. Not only lung cancer, but also lung disease, which includes chronic bronchitis and emphysema, which we call COPD. I always encourage people to try to quit smoking before that develops, because that is a disease where once you quit smoking, you can't turn the disease back. The disease will progress. So I encourage people to quit smoking before that chronic issue develops. Because when you quit smoking, your cells grow back. Your body pretty much fixes itself once you get rid of the substances. And things that's not even chronic, just shortness of breath, being able to get around and walk better or walk faster or walk further, without gasping for air. Also, smoking affects your eyes. It may increase your risk for developing glaucoma or cataracts. Also, if you have arthritis, it affects your arthritis. It'll cause it to become more inflamed. So even with current conditions that you already have, smoking makes it worse. Okay. Secondhand smoke. Now, years ago, people didn't think that really affected anyone. You know, maybe it was just a nuisance. But there is studies that's showing that secondhand smoke does affect people. Even if you're not a smoker, but you live with a smoker, you are being exposed. And with secondhand smoke, it's two types of smoke. It's the smoke that's being exhaled by the smoker that is filtered. And it's also the smoke that's streamed out of the end of the cigarette that's not being filtered. So people exposed to secondhand smoke could get lung cancer and also heart disease from being exposed. It has more than 40,000 chemicals, carcinogens, and so there is a health problem. Also, there's third-hand smoke. I don't have a slide up here for it, but that term kind of came out a few years ago. It's basically when the smoke leaves the room, you have the residue from the chemicals that was listed that's still there. So, for example, if you walk into a house and the person usually smokes in the house, a non-smoker would smell that right off the bat. The residue is still there. It's in the furniture. It's in the carpet. It's on the walls. If anyone ever grew up in a house where they smoked, the walls are kind of yellow, a dingy yellow. You move a picture that was there for a long time and you see the outline and you see it was white, actually. That's tar, just from the years of residue from smoking being around. And so with young children, you know, you have grandchildren or children, and even though you smoke outside, you may still have the residue on your clothes. So if you go in the house and pick up the baby is being exposed to the third-hand smoke. Okay. Okay, light cigarettes. So a lot of times when people try to quit smoking, they try different things. And many people may try to buy a low tar or a light cigarette that has low nicotine in it. Well, that doesn't work. There's no evidence that shows switching to a light cigarette could help someone quit. Actually, there are vents that's in the filter of the cigarette, and they're saying that you're getting a small amount of tar, so it's a light cigarette, or a small amount of nicotine, so it's a light cigarette. Well, that's not necessarily true. If you use a light cigarette, you're going to find that you're smoking more because you're trying to get to that nicotine level that you're used to. So it's really not a good method to use in quitting. Herbal cigarettes. Has anyone heard of herbal cigarettes? Okay. Well, it doesn't have nicotine in it, okay, which is good, but it's a burning substance. So you're increasing your risk for developing lung cancer and emphysema because you're inhaling that carbon monoxide. E-cigarettes. Carbon monoxide is the smoke you're inhaling from the burning. Mm-hmm. So basically anything that's burned, even if you're in front of a fire and the smoke is just, you know, that's carbon monoxide. It's a poison. When you're a smoker, you're constantly putting that carbon monoxide into your lungs, and it's concentrated. It could be, but at extremely high levels, because you're actually inhaling each cigarette into yourself. Okay. E-cigarettes, electronic cigarettes. Now, this is very popular right now. You see it on commercials. You see it probably in the mall. You see vapor shops that are popping up around town. This is not a method that we currently recommend for smokers to use to help them quit. It's very popular, and I know people are using them to try to quit smoking. We don't recommend it as a tobacco cessation specialist. It's about the size of a cigarette. Back in '09, it actually looked like a cigarette, and when the battery burned, the light on the end, you know, was red when you used it. Well, there's like basically 4 generations since then, and so it's like a tank pen system, basically, and you purchase the nicotine solution to burn, and you use the e-cigarette. So you're actually not burning, you're not creating smoke, but it is putting out byproducts, okay? Diethylene glycol is used in antifreeze, and it's toxic to humans. Also, it releases nitrosamines, okay? There's too many unknowns about this product, so we really can't approve it for smokers to help them quit. It's not FDA approved, and they're just starting to do studies on it, okay? Okay, so we kind of talked about, the negative effects of smoking. Now we're going to get into the benefits of quitting. We're looking at the positive here. So changes that your body go through when you quit, and I actually have a handout on it to take with you. Within 20 minutes of the last cigarette, your blood pressure drops to normal. So probably the whole time you've been in here, your blood pressure went back to normal, probably. Your pulse rate drops to normal. Your temperature in your hands and feet increase to normal. Because we talked about nicotine constricting your blood vessels. So if it does that, you're constricting your blood from your hands and feet, so your temperature would drop. It would be lower. So, but when you quit smoking, your temperature in your hands and feet go back to normal. Within 8 hours, carbon monoxide level drops to normal. And this is something that I actually measure when I do my counseling program. I actually have a machine that you can blow into that will detect how much carbon monoxide is in your breath and how much is in your blood. And I like to use it as a motivational tool. When people come, I check each time, and we want to see that number drop because you want more oxygen in your system and less carbon monoxide. Your oxygen level increases to normal. Within 48 hours, your nerve endings start to regrow. Your ability to taste and smell things get better. Because when you quit smoking, your cells regenerate and they grow back. And so whatever little damage has been done, your cells are regrowing and fixing that damage. Within 72 hours, bronchial tubes relax and you breathe easier. Your lung capacity increases. Within 2 weeks to 3 months, your circulation improves. Your walking becomes easier, and your lung function increases up to 30%. Within 1 to 9 months, coughing, that smoker's cough, sinus congestion, fatigue, shortness of breath, all decrease. The cilia in your lungs. Your lungs have cilia, these hair-like cells, and the way they function is that they're supposed to cough up anything foreign that's in your lungs. Well, when you're smoking, that's damaged. So you may have mucus just kind of sitting in your lungs. When you quit smoking, those cells grow back and they start working. So one of the withdrawal symptoms when you quit nicotine is that, okay, why am I coughing up this brown stuff? What's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. Your body's preparing itself, repairing itself, and it's coughing up all that mucus that was sitting there. It's coming up now. So your lungs are functioning the way they're supposed to. Your body's overall energy level increases, and your chance for having a heart attack decreases. Within 3 to 4 years, your risk of cancer of the larynx and the bladder decrease. Within 5 years, your cancer of the esophagus and mouth decreases. And after 10 years of being quit, your cancer risk for pancreatic cancer decreases, and your risk for lung cancer is about half of that of someone that's continuing to smoke. Now, lung cancer is, there are some people who quit smoking and then later in a few years find out they've developed lung cancer. It wasn't because they quit smoking that they got sick. It was because it was already happening and they didn't realize it, because lung cancer is pretty tricky. You don't usually get symptoms until the later stages. Okay, so let's go into the cessation services. When you're trying to quit smoking, you have to deal with, first of all, the nicotine addiction, the want to have nicotine. And you have to deal with the habit, the ritual of using nicotine at certain times of the day, each day, for so many years. For some of you, maybe 20 years, for some 30, for some 40 years. Think about that. That's a lot of habit. A lot of habit. And that's one of the reasons why it's so difficult to quit and stay quit. Because it's so embedded in our daily lives. We rely on it. We use it, you know, each day to function. And so the services is to help you actually put you through counseling to give you the tips and strategies on how to break this habit. Okay? So in conjunction with medication, someone can be successfully quit by doing some type of counseling along with using some quit smoking aids. Okay? So in tobacco cessation services, these are the type of things that are available. The individual and group counseling, which is a face-to-face counseling. Telephone counseling. You have maybe self-help materials. And also online counseling, which is web-based. And what you would do is use what's going to be convenient for you. Use what's going to actually help you quit. And also there's the quit smoking medications available. Now, at Mary Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake, we do a Go Free Quit Tobacco program. And we've been doing this program since 2007, where we're providing group counseling for free that's open to the community. In 2010, we actually started doing one-on-one services for our cancer patients, actually bedside counseling to try to get them to quit while they're doing treatment. And we've been doing that for a few years, and this year we're continuing the group counseling, but we're also providing one-on-one counseling with just the general public. Because if group sessions aren't convenient for you, you can schedule a one-on-one appointment with myself on Mondays and Thursdays. So we're being really flexible, allowing that to happen. Okay. In conjunction with that, we are partnering with the Smoking Cessation Trust. Has anyone heard of that organization? Okay. There was a class action lawsuit that was won in Louisiana called the Scott class case. I believe her name was Gloria Scott. And she went to court against Big Tobacco. And after 9 to 10 years, won the case. And so in 2011, this foundation was founded, Smoking Cessation Trust Management Services. So the money that was won from the court case, the money from the tobacco companies, were put into this trust and available to help Louisiana smokers quit. Okay. This is the program that actually, if you're a trust member and you qualify, your benefits would be, you would get a card that serves as a medication card, and also that card will cover like your counseling services. Your group counseling, or even if you counsel with a physician at the doctor's office. Okay. Also, in conjunction with that, the person will get a call from a quit coach that is part of the Nurture Quitline, and that person will reinforce some of the things that you would get face-to-face from me, but actually provide you tips and strategies on how to break the habit. Okay. So when people join our Go Free program, I actually sign them up for the Smoking Cessation Trust if they're eligible. And if you're interested, I do have the form here, and you can sign up today. And I can put your information to be processed. Okay. When you're approved, you get a packet in the mail. It's a large white envelope. It'll say Smoking Cessation Trust. Your membership card would be in that packet. And in order to get the medication, you would just have the doctor maybe send a medication to your pharmacist, and then you would take that card to the pharmacy and pay for your medications with that card. So basically it's used like, for example, your medicine coverage card, but that would be your card for your quit smoking aids. Okay. Eligibility is that you began smoking before 1988, you're age 35 or older, and you live in Louisiana. And again, you can enroll today, and people usually enroll through our program. Or, you know, for any family members, anyone out in the community, you want to share this information, they can actually go to the website. I've been doing tobacco cessation for 15 years, and I've never seen a program cover quit smoking medications like this one. So I do my best in spreading that word, letting people know that this resource is available. And I know a lot of times it would take having medication covered to motivate someone to start quitting, because the medications cost a lot of money, and that may deter people from trying to quit if they can't afford the medication. Okay, so we're talking about different types of services, and I gave you an example of our program where we do face-to-face. This is the telephone counseling for the state, Louisiana Tobacco Quitline. It's 1-800-QUIT-NOW. It's available to anyone in Louisiana age 13 and over. They do proactive counseling, where the counseling actually calls you, and also reactive, you calling the counselor. They're certified specialists, and it's 24 hours, 7 days a week, all year. And most Quitlines are 24/7. We talked about online web-based services. Well, this is a web-based resource for the state, Quit With Us Louisiana. And if anybody had questions about what's available as far as the medications, these are the medications that are available. First, we have nicotine replacement therapies, which means they have these are products with a small amount of nicotine in it, not an extremely high level that you would get from a cigarette. So yes, it's medication. It's like drugs to get you off the drug. That's true. But it's temporary. You're not on these medications forever. While you're in the quitting process, a lot of people may need help to reduce their withdrawal symptoms, especially when you're in the midst of trying to quit. And so the instructions on these medications will show you how to reduce the amount that you're taking to eventually get off of nicotine. So the patch is usually over the counter. They come in 21 milligram, 14, and then 7 milligrams. Okay, you basically just stick it on your skin, and the nicotine is absorbed through your skin, and you can wear it all day. Okay. The nicotine gum, it comes in 4 milligram and 2 milligram, and this is because it depends on how heavy a smoker you are. With the gum, you don't chew it like regular chewing gum. Okay. There are some people who start off doing that, and they've been chewing the gum for 3 years. But the gum actually works where you chew it a little bit until you taste this peppery taste, and then you park it between your cheek and your gum, and you can absorb the nicotine that way. For the lozenge, the same dosage, 4 and 2 milligram. With the lozenge, we ask that you allow it to dissolve completely. Don't try to bite on it like sometimes we do when we suck on Halls or cough drops, but allow it to dissolve. The nicotine inhaler, and it's a product that not too many people know about, but it's a white plastic tube, about the size of a cigarette, and you put nicotine cartridges in it. And it's a good substitution because you're holding it and you can do what you're used to, that hand-mouth motion. I ask people to maybe replace your cigarettes with that if you decide to use that. So instead of having your cigarettes on the side of the bed or in your glove compartment in the car, you put your inhaler there. So when you go to reach for that cigarette, you reach for the medication to help you, and plus you're getting that dosage to help you get past the craving. The nasal spray. It is an available product. I don't know too many people who use it, I think because it may irritate the inside of your nose, but it is a medication that's available. The non-nicotine products, they do not have nicotine in it. It comes in the pill form. One of them is Wellbutrin, which is an anti-anxiety, anti-depression medication, and they found out in the 80s that it helped people quit smoking. And so when they found that out, another company made Zyban, which is the same medication. It just has a different name. And then you have Chantix. Chantix came out in 2007. It's pretty new. Okay. And it was created specifically to target those nicotine receptors that are in your brain. So when you use Chantix, they block the receptors in your brain. So when you smoke a cigarette, the nicotine from the cigarette isn't getting there because the medication's there. As a result, you may feel kind of nauseous when you're smoking smoking the cigarettes. Also, people may say their cigarette doesn't taste the same, or they're not getting the same effect from their cigarette. That's the sign that Chantix is working for you. Okay. But there are some people that use Chantix that still end up smoking. The reason why is because they haven't had a hold on the ritual, the habit. The medication is not a magic bullet. You have to do some type of counseling with it. It won't make you quit, but it'll definitely help reduce your cravings and reduce your urge to light up. You do have to work on your routine. Okay, so in preparing to quit, basically you're making this decision, you make it up in your mind that you're ready to quit. This is something you have to do for yourself. No one can make you quit. But just make up in your mind that you're ready to quit. Setting a quit day. Now, many people get kind of stressed about pinpointing a specific day where they want to give it up because you really rely on the product. But setting a quit day makes a goal for you. You're establishing a set goal. And the steps that you're taking, you're working towards that goal. So you're going to make a quit plan. Know what to do when your quit day comes. Know how to deal with your withdrawal symptoms. And then know how to maintain your smoke-free status, staying smoke-free. So setting your quit day and making a plan. Mark on your calendar what day you're thinking about quitting. Tell family and friends for support. Stock up on your substitutes. Breath mints, peppermints, cinnamon toothpicks, cinnamon straws, just drinking straws, a stress ball. What items are you going to use to substitute your behavior at your triggered times? That's part of your plan ahead. Know what you're going to do instead of smoke at those specific times. You have to think about it first before it happens. If you don't think about what you're going to do, you're going to automatically light up. Because smoking is an automatic habit. You do it unconsciously. Okay. Decide on your method of choice. Decide whether or not you're going to use quit smoking medications and what's going to work best for you. So I just gave you a list of 7 products. Identify what you're actually going to use. If you're not going to chew the gum, don't get the gum. That's not going to work for you. If the patch irritates your skin, you won't use the patch. So try something else. Use what works best for you. Get rid of your cigarettes. And I say that because if they're there and you're trying to quit, you have easy access to it. And you're going to automatically grab it. So why tempt yourself with it? If you smoke in the house, make a rule for yourself. Make a new house rule. And get the smell out of your house. Because that's going to be a huge temptation for you. Because your house is comfortable. And if you allow yourself to smoke in your home, you're going to always be triggered to light up all the time. So make a rule for yourself and take it outside. Okay. Get rid of lighters, ashtrays, etc. And identify what your triggers are. Are your triggers coffee? Alcohol? Waking up in the morning? For many people, it's that morning cigarette. Because when you're sleeping, nicotine actually diffuses out of your body. And when you wake up in the morning, guess what? You want to light up. And the reason why is because nicotine is the perfect drug. It stimulates you, it gives you energy, but it calms you at the same time. And that's what you crave. What to do when quit day comes. So stop smoking the night before. Don't say, okay, I'm going to quit tomorrow, but then you quit 12 o'clock noon and you smoked all morning. That's not going to work. So you stop, you put out your last cigarette the night before. You keep active. Start walking. You know, walking actually helps with stress management, and it also gives off those endorphins that calms you and helps you get past that urge to smoke. Drink lots of water, because water actually helps nicotine purge out of your system quicker. And juices. Start your medication if you're using the medication. And try to avoid those high-risk situations. For example, if you know a social event's coming up, or a big party's coming up, and your big trigger is alcohol for the cigarette, you know, try to find out what you're going to do in that high-risk situation. Also, stressful situations, because many people use cigarettes to cope with stress. When you're anxious, when you're nervous, when you're upset about something. Learn how to manage your stress without depending on tobacco. Avoid alcohol and caffeine if that's a trigger for you. Use the 4 A's. Avoid. Try to avoid that urge. Alter your routine. Alter your habit. Alternatives. Use those substitution items I talked about. And then activities. Do something. Keep your hands occupied. Keep your mind occupied. If you're waiting at the doctor's office on something, maybe bring a crossword puzzle, you know, instead of going outside to light up. Keep your mind and your hands occupied, especially when you're in the quitting process. And staying quit. The urge will pass whether you smoke or not. It will pass. It only lasts 3 to 5 minutes. I want everyone to remember the 4 D's whenever the urge hits you to smoke. First of all, deep breathe. Deep breathing helps you get past the urge, and it also helps with stress management. It's a good stress management tool. So I would like for everyone to start using deep breathing instead of lighting up the cigarette. Okay? Drink water. Delay. Actually put it off. If an urge hits you, wait 10 minutes. The 10 minutes pass, wait 10 more minutes. If you delay throughout the day, you're going to find that you automatically are cutting down the amount of cigarettes that you're smoking in that day. And the last thing is do something. Do something else. Occupy your hands. Remember your reasons for quitting. Everyone should have their own personal reason for quitting, and that's what you should focus on. Your reason for quitting, and use that at those hard times when you need motivation. Use your reasons to motivate you, not to light up. Seek support. We have many programs available. Mary Bird Perkins has a program year-round. Seek support from others, and also replace your cravings with something healthy, like healthy foods. And in our program, we also deal with all of the issues that go along with quitting, such as stress management and weight management, because we all know that's kind of an issue that goes with quitting. When you quit smoking, you're afraid you're going to gain weight because of substitution. So if you substitute with healthy items, you know, grapes, carrot sticks, trail mix, you know, those healthy things in order to keep your weight down. And reducing stress. Stress is the #1 reason why people go back to smoking when they successfully quit. Usually something stressful happens or something, you know, upsetting happens that'll make someone light up. So the key is to be able to know how to manage your stress so you won't fall back and relapse into smoking. Okay? All right, so that's my contact information. If you're interested in the Go Free program, you can call my number or you can contact Ebony Barber. She actually schedules my individual counseling appointments and also registers people for our group program. If anyone is interested in signing up for the Smoking Cessation Trust to get those free benefits, I have the forms here that I could pass around. And I also have some materials on my table about third-hand smoke. I have a list of the classes that we have, and you also have that in the chair too.